Hello parents, students, and fellow music teachers. Welcome to the Art of Piano Practice Challenge. Learning how to play the piano is really about learning how to practice. If we learn how to practice, the skill of playing the piano will naturally develop. And the best part is, if we know how to practice, we can apply that into any other areas of our life towards any other skill we are trying to develop. This piano challenge is designed so that students will learn the art of practicing. With intentional, focus, and strategic work, my hope is that students learn how to approach their practice time effectively and efficiently. Parents and students, this first part of the video is already included in the PDF file that I sent to you, so you can skip this first part of the video and go to the middle part where I explain how to really use Tonara so that the students can maximize the points in their Tonara app. And to my fellow music teachers and whoever else is watching, hello, my name is Kat, owner and founder of Katz Keys and Company. I'm sharing this with you guys because you might find something here that you would like to implement into your own studio. But if you also have comments and suggestions, go ahead and drop it in the box below, because I love to teach, but I do know that I am not the best piano teacher in the world. I just know that I love to teach and I want to be the best piano teacher I can be for my students. So if you have some tips and comments and suggestions, I'm sure that I can also learn from them. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and click like and subscribe. I release creative piano music videos, tips and tutorials for my students, tips for fellow music teachers, and I've also been vlogging my piano practice. I've been documenting my process of getting better in my own skill as a pianist. It's scary to show my process there in the world, but hey, I think it's really great to show people that it doesn't just come naturally for me. Yeah, I actually have to work hard at my own skills. So that's kind of my thing lately. 5 days a week, 1 hour a day. It's a lot of work, but it's really fun. All right, here's what you'll need. Number one, you'll need your Tonara app, because we're going to do the challenge through that Tonara app. Number two, whether it's digital or printed, you need to have access to your Simply Music materials, especially the videos. Number three, you're going to need a second device if possible. It will really help, because then you can use Tonara to record your playtime, right, while you are playing the track of your material from another device. It is not necessary, but it's definitely useful if you are able to have a second device. Number four, you need your playlist book. Number five, you need your practice pad. And number six, you need your tip jar or tip pouch, tip bag, tip box, tip, play for tips, whatever it is that you want to use. Yeah, as long as you have something to collect your tips. So what's with the tip jar? Well, I'm always looking for ways to use music and playing the piano as a vehicle to teach life values. And in this particular challenge, we are going to tie this to the value of generosity. At the end of the 6-week challenge, students are encouraged to donate a portion of the tips that they've collected to a cause that they feel connected to. It could be a portion or the whole thing, or none at all. No one is forced to donate their tips. It's just an encouraging thing for students to maybe practice the act of generosity in the context of what we're doing in our challenge. It could be something as little as buying a couple of power bars and a bottle of water for a homeless person, or being aware that your friend at school is maybe having a tough time at home or feeling down, and you want to cheer that person up by buying them a really small gift or whatever, right? Or donating it to an organization. Whatever that may be, that is entirely up to the student. This is just a practice of being attentive to the world around us and the people around us, and see if there's a need that we can fill, because I think that little acts of kindness really does make a difference. The challenge is 6 weeks long, and there will be one winner every single week, and whoever is at the top of the leaderboard every Sunday will win the challenge. All right, here are your challenge instructions. Number one, do 20 jumping jacks or turn on an upbeat music for a minute and dance it out. What we're doing is we're activating our entire body. When we activate our entire body, we are in a more alert state of mind, ready to learn. Think about going to school. Growing up, going to school, I feel like I forgot pretty much most of what I learned during the day, Why? Because we are sitting around in our chairs, in our desk, at the school trying to learn, but we're sitting and bored and our body is not activated, and that is why we are not really taking in all that we're learning. So don't start playing the piano until you've activated your body. I actually just started doing this for my piano practice. Before I start my piano practice, I literally do 3 1-minute handstands. I know it's crazy, but it helps me get really warm in my body, and that just gets the blood rushing to my brain, and all of a sudden my brain it's just so alert and I'm ready to zone in. So the easiest way to do that is to do jumping jacks or high knees or dance it out or toe touches for my students who do gymnastics, or do your kata, your punches and your kicks for my students who do karate. Yeah, whatever you gotta do to get your body activated before you sit at the piano, I promise you it's going to help your brain be more alert and ready to learn. Step number 2, check your Tanara for your weekly detailed practice strategy. Make sure that you follow your instructions thoroughly. Step number 3, make sure that Tanara is on and actually listening to your practice time. It will not gain points for you if your Tanara isn't actually listening in on your practice time. So make sure it's on, it's listening to you, and you press record on the parts that you want to record for submission. Okay, so you don't have to record the whole thing, but just press record on the parts that you want feedback on. Step number 4, make sure that you send your recordings immediately after practice so I can listen to them and I can give you guys feedback, okay? Also, make sure that you mark all the songs on your playlist book. Whatever you played during that practice time, mark it down in your playlist book. Step number 5, the fun part. Collect your tips. You have earned it, so go ahead and collect your tips. Again, whether that's 25 cents, 50 cents, it doesn't matter, just whatever. And for parents, you know, if you don't want to give tips, it can literally be anything. Maybe like maybe you can do like a point system where they get like 5 points equals a free pass on a day where they're supposed to do chores, then they don't do chores that day. Something like that, right? Be creative. So if they get 5 points that week, they get to skip out on one chore that week as well. So whatever that is for you, make it creative, make it fun for the students. Just something to kind of, you know, motivate them to practice. Okay, so when you log into your Tanara, you're going to go into this homepage. I am a student pretending to be on Tanara right now. You see, this is your homepage, right? You always want to go to the little book sign right here. Yeah, so you're going to click on that book sign. From now on, you are no longer to practice off of the other songs. You can still open these if you want, and you can still listen to the tracks there and view the materials. But from now on, you are only going to go to the practice plan. So no longer scrolling down, looking for the song to practice in the proper song itself. You're actually just going to the practice plan. Okay, so let's click on that. When you click on that, it will tell you exactly your time requirement, which is what you have told me, right? So if you want 5 days a week, 15 minutes a day, it's going to show up here. If you want 4 days a week, 30 minutes per day, it's going to show up here. So whatever that is, that's what you told me, right? The description here is basically all the instructions in your piano challenge that was in the PDF link that was sent to the parents and also to the adult students. So step 1, do 20 jumping jacks to activate your body. Step 2, go to the link in this homework, which is over here at the bottom. This is the link, right? So we're going to talk about that in a second. So that's your step 2. Go to the link and you're going to follow it thoroughly. Step 3, you are going to go to your Tanara, which is I'm here now, and you're going to make sure that Tanara is listening to your entire practice time and record only the parts you want to submit for feedback. I will also show that in a second. And step 4 is send your recordings immediately after practice and use your playlist book to mark all the songs. And then step 5, collect your tips. And then here's also your practice schedule. I wrote it down for every single student. So it will have very specific days and specific times for you, as well as your specific length of practice that you want. It says here, practice schedule, rain or shine. Okay? Let us go ahead and check the practice plan. So before you click the button start practice, you don't want to click that yet. You want to make sure you go to your practice plan. So I'm going to click on the practice plan, and it's going to pull out a Google Drive file, right? That is going to show you exactly your practice plan. At the top here, it says Lizzie because this is Lizzie's practice plan, not mine. But for example, today is Tuesday, 8 p.m. and you want to practice for 25 minutes. Your first thing you have to do is a 5-minute warm-up. And you're just going to read this really quickly and you're just going to say, okay, so for warm-up, I'm going to play Crystal with the background track. This is where the second device comes in handy, because then you can play the background track from the second device while you use Tonara to record yourself playing Cristowel. Okay, if you don't have a second device, then forget about the background track for now. Just make sure you do everything that it says here on the warm-up. Next thing on the warm-up is say it and play it, which means that you're going to say the name of the chord as you're playing the chord. So for Lizzie, I'm asking her to do all major chords, both hands together, and then all minor chords, both hands together, and then all suspended chords, both hands together. All of this, as long as she knows all her chords and she's able to find it quickly, this should really be enough for 5 minutes. It won't take her more than 5 minutes to do this, okay? You're just going to read this first part, right? Because you just want to focus on this part first. So now that you know your warm-up, you're going to go back to your Tonara and you're going to click Start Practice at the bottom, right? It says here extra rewards for completion. So every time you have completed your entire time for practice, you're actually going to get extra rewards. So if you don't complete it, you're not going to get that. So let's go ahead and start practice, okay? Are ready and you're like, I want to submit this for feedback, you are going to stop because you're done recording that part that you want to submit for feedback. And then you still have 15 minutes left, right? It says here 15 minutes and it says you're only at the 3-minute mark. And this is also great because you can actually really see how much you have time. And this is actually great because you can see how much time you have left, right? So if you're at 3:45, you're like, oh, I have a minute and a few more seconds for my warm-up, right? Okay, so let's just pretend you're done with your warm-up. So we're going to click pause right there. And then we're going to go back to the window and we're just going to quickly look at this. So, okay, the next 10 minutes, we're going to touch our F1 songs, which are your Foundation 1 songs. And it says here, choose 5 songs from your Foundation 1 songs, okay? And then it gives you specific instructions. It says, before playing, look at the diagrams. Explain the diagram first to yourself, basically, before you play the song. And then play it once on the practice pad, making sure you're seeing the patterns, then play it once on the piano. Okay, so what you're going to do is, especially if you are trying to review and you forgot a song, or especially if you just learned a new song for the first time, make sure you watch the video, and then you're going to voice out the diagrams while you're practicing, right? While you're recording your practice, you're going to voice it out so you can explain the diagrams, and then you're going to play it on the practice pad first, and then you're going to play it on the piano. So then from there, you're going to go back here, and so then you're going to pull out your video. You're going to watch the video while that timer is going, and then you're going to explain the diagrams to yourself, and then you are going to practice it on the practice pad, and then you are going to put it on the piano. Okay, so now let's say I'm done with all of that. I'm going to put it on the piano and I'm playing Dreams Come True. Stop recording. Yeah, if you notice, it says 2. That means you've got 2 recordings there in your media file. Okay, once you're done with your practice, okay, so you are now at the 10-minute mark. You've done that. You're gonna go back. You have 5 more minutes left. It says here this is for Lizzie, that has 25 minutes, so everybody will look a little bit different because Lizzie has 25 minutes. So it says bonus songs. Choose any extra songs on your playlist that you want to play. So any other bonus songs that you have learned, you can do it within the next 5 minutes. So then you're gonna go back there and you are going to play your bonus song, and then you're gonna pause. And you're going to go back over here and you're just going to go, 5 minutes of exploration. Spend 5 minutes on any improv exercises or compose a song. So you're always going to have a few minutes of exploration at the end of your practice time. And then you're going to go back over there and you are going to continue. Yeah, and every time you need to record, you just click record. And anytime you're done recording, you stop recording. And then from there, you're going to click pause. And now we're going to actually finish, right? So we're going to finish. Now we're going to close out of that right here. And then we are going to look at my recordings. You see this? Over here it says my recordings. So I kind of click the 3 toggle buttons right there. I'm going to click that. And it says share, right? And then over here. And then click the check mark at the end. There you go. That's it. And then you're done. So again, when you practice, just to recap, if you are on your Tanara on your home page, you're going to go to the little book at the bottom here. And then you're only going to go to your practice plan from now on. No more going to the other songs. And then from here, you're going to first look at this link right here so that it tells you exactly what to do. 5 minutes for warm up. And then you're going to go back to your Tanara, right? And you're going to start practice. And then you're going to let that record your practice the whole time. And then while you're practicing, if you're ready for submission, you're going to click record, right? And then if you're done with your submission, you're going to stop. And then you're going to continue practicing still. And then if you're done with one section of your practice, you're just going to pause that for a second. You're going to go back to your thing over here. Now it says 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes is that. So then you're going to go back over here and you're going to let that record your next 10 minutes. If you want to record a song, again, click record. You're done recording a song, click stop. You're done with a section, so then you pause and then you go back over here. Oh, you're now on your 5 minutes bonus song. Go back over here, right? And then when you're done, click pause and then finish. Close and make sure that you send your recording. So all of these recordings you want to send to your teacher. See that? Well, that's it. Thank you for watching and happy practicing. And I can't wait to hear everybody's recording. Bye.